So after making my card surfer video, I decided to make this into a series where I recreate Club Penguin minigames in three-dimensional space. However, today I found out there's an absolutely awesome project called CP3D, which is a remake of Club Penguin in 3D. I will link them in the description. If you want to check them out, you should. The project really impressed me. I couldn't play much of it though, but from what I saw, they already have the most important minigames implemented. Thank God they don't have Card Surfer, otherwise I would have looked like an absolute idiot. However, they also don't have Puffle RoundUp, which is what I will be focusing on today. For me, Puffle RoundUp was always a bit boring and seemed like an untapped potential, so that's why I decided to give it a remake. So I opened Unity, I created a terrain, a very basic terrain, added a few trees, added the player model, and I started working on the third-person controller. So I implemented the camera using Cinema Machine, which is a really powerful tool which is exclusive to Unity. It basically allows you to create camera controls without coding, and it's really good and powerful, very customizable. So if you want to make a third-person game, I would suggest you use Cinema Machine. So after making the third-person controller, I focused on Puffles. I gave them a collider and I attached the script to them. So what I needed to do is when the player got close to them, they moved in the opposite direction. So in the original Puffle Roundup game, the Puffles would react to the mouse based on what color they were. So blue ones were more welcoming and you had to bring your mouse cursor near to them. But if the Puffle, let's say, was more antisocial, like black one, he would move fast and you wouldn't be able to get near him with your mouse cursor. So that's what I tried to achieve. I basically created a sphere in Unity. It's called overlap sphere, which has a radius, and basically when the player gets near to it, the Puffle moves in an opposite direction. This was very easy, so I could very easily adjust this to every Puffle. So basically what I said, when the player gets into that sphere, you calculate the direction to the player and you move in that opposite direction. And I also made it so it would look also in that opposite direction, so so the Puffle would seem more alive and responsive. After making this, I basically had the major part of the game already done, and I decided to move on to the cage. For the cage, I added a collider to it, a trigger collider, which when Puffles went inside it, it would count up in the script, and when the Puffles exited that trigger, it would count down. So when the amount of Puffles in the cage were equal to the amount of Puffles that were actually in the scene, the game would end. And after that I added some polish to the game, where Puffle would get stuck in the outside of the cage. There's a corner. Puffle would get stuck in there and you wouldn't be able to get it out. So I basically fixed colliders, I added some post-processing, and I was done. So yeah, this was surprisingly easy to make project. It took me around 3 hours. However, I still learned and pretty much refined my skills from it. And again, just like in my card surfer video, if you want to download the project files, you can download them in the link. Be free to use the models, everything I made. Don't use a penguin model because I took that from a site, like in my card surfer video, it's game day model. However, Puffle model, I modeled it myself. So yeah, as I said, I wanted to make this into a big series where I would create all the minigames. However, there's already CP3D. You can check them out if you want to see all the minigames in 3D. So yeah, thanks for watching. Comment down below if you want me to do something else. And yeah, thanks for watching.